Welcome to Story Quest. Today, I will be reading Little Woman, Chapter 17, Part 2. Now, I'll tell you what we'll do, said Hannah when she had examined and questioned Beth. We will have Dr. Bangs just take a look at you, dear, and see that we start right. Then we'll send Amy off to Aunt March's for a spell, to keep her out of harm's way. And one of you girls can stay at home and amuse Beth for a day or two. I shall stay, of course. I'm oldest, began Meg, looking anxious and self-reproachful. I shall, because it's my fault she is sick. I told Mother I'd do the errands, and I haven't, said Joe decidedly. Which will you have, Beth? There ain't no need but of one, said Hannah. Joe, please. And Beth leaned her head against her sister with a contented look, which effectually settled that point. I'll go and tell Amy, said Meg, feeling a little hurt yet rather relieved on the whole, for she did not like nursing, and Joe did. Amy rebelled outright and passionately declared that she'd rather have the fever than go to Aunt March. Meg reasoned, pleaded, and commanded, all in vain. Amy protested that she would not go, and Meg left her in despair to ask Hannah what should be done. Before she came back, Laurie walked into the parlor to find Amy sobbing with her head in the sofa cushions. She told her story, expecting to be consoled, but Laurie only put his hands in his pocket and walked about the room, whistling softly, as he knit his brows in deep thought. Presently he sat down beside her and said in his most reason you ought to go away at once, so that you may escape it. Change of air and care will keep you well, I dare say, or if it doesn't entirely, you will have the fever more lightly. I advise you to be off as soon as you can, or scarlet fever is no joke, miss. But it's dull at Aunt March's, and she is so cross, said Amy, looking rather frightened. It won't be dull with me popping in every day to tell you how Beth is, and take you out gallivanting. The old lady likes me, and I'll be as sweet as possible to her, so she won't peck at us, whatever we do. Will you take me out in the trotting wagon with Puck? On my honor as a gentleman, and come every single day? See if I don't, and bring me back the minute Beth is well? The identical minute. And go to the theater, truly? A dozen theaters, if we may. Well, I guess I will, said Amy slowly. Good girl, call Meg and tell her you'll give in, said Laurie with an approving pat, which annoyed Amy more than the giving in. Meg and Joe came running down to behold the miracle which had been wrought, and Amy, feeling very precious and self-sacrificing, promised to go, if the doctor said Beth was going to be ill. How is the little dear? Asked Laurie, for Beth was his special pet, and he felt more anxious about her than he liked to show. She is lying down on Mother's bed and feels better. The baby's death troubled her, but I dare say that she only got cold. Hannah says she thinks so, but she looks worried, and it makes me fidgety, answered Meg. What a trying world it is, said Joe, rumpling up her hair in a frightful way. No sooner do we get out of one trouble than down comes another. There doesn't seem to be anything to hold on to when Mom's gone, so I'm all at sea. Well, don't make a porcupine of yourself. It isn't becoming. Settle your wig, Joe, and tell me if I shall telegraph your mother or do anything, asked Laurie, who never had been reconciled to the loss of his friend's one beauty. That is what troubles me, said Meg. I think we ought to tell her if Beth is really sick, but Hannah says we mustn't, for Mother can't leave Father, and it will only make them anxious. Beth won't be sick long, and Hannah knows just what to do, and Mother said we were to mind her, so I suppose we must, but it doesn't seem quite right to me. Well, I can't say. Suppose you ask Grandfather after the doctor has been. We will. Joe, go and get Dr. Bangs at once, commanded Meg. We can't decide anything till he has been. Stay where you are, Joe. I'm errand boy to this establishment, said Laurie, taking up his cap. I'm afraid you are busy, began Meg. No, I've done my lessons for the day. Do you study in vacation time? Asked Joe. I follow the good example my neighbor set me, was Laurie's answer, as he swung himself out of the door. I have great hopes for my boy, observed Joe, watching him fly over the fence with an approving smile. He does very well for a boy, was Meg's somewhat ungracious answer, for the subject did not interest her. Dr. Bangs came, said Beth had symptoms of the fever, but he thought she would have it lightly, though he looked sober over the Hummel story. Amy was ordered off at once and provided with something to ward off danger. She departed in great state with Joe and Laurie as escort. Aunt March received them with her usual hospitality. What do you want now? She asked, looking sharply over her spectacles, while the parrot sitting on the back of her chair called out, Go away, no boys allowed here. Laurie retired to the window, and Joe told her story. No more than I expected. If you're allowed to go poking about among poor folks, Amy can stay and make herself useful if she isn't sick, which I have no doubt she will be. Look like it now. Don't cry, child. It worries me to hear people sniff. Amy was on the point of crying, but Laurie slyly pulled the parrot's tail, which called Polly to utter an astonished croak and call out, Bless my boots, in such a funny way, that she laughed instead. What do you hear from my mother? Asked the old lady gruffly. Father is much better, replied Joe, trying to keep sober. Oh, is he? Well, that won't last long, I fancy. March never had any stamina, was the cheerful reply. Aha, never say die. Take a pinch of snuff. Goodbye, goodbye, squalls Polly, dancing on her perch and clawing at the old lady's cap as Laurie tweaked him in the rear. Hold your tongue, you disrespectful old bird. And Joe, you better go at once. It isn't proper to be gating about so late with a rattle-pated boy like. Hold your tongue, you disrespectful old bird, cried Polly, tumbling off the chair with a bounce and running to peck the rattle-pated boy, who was shaking with laughter at the last speech. I don't think I could bear it, but I'll try, thought Amy, as she was left alone with Aunt March. Get along, you fright, screamed Polly, and at the rude speech, Amy could not restrain a sniff. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please like, share, and comment down below. And if you have not done so already, please subscribe and hit that bell notification for future videos. And please check out my second channel and podcast, Viva Quest, which can be found on most podcast streaming platforms and will be listed in the description. Thank you.